wavy beard.
90s to a T.
If I see champagne, I will call it champagne.
Oh, no, we've got so many good episodes to watch.
Oh, wait, I'm getting it. Nope, changed my mind. Boo.
This is funny until you have it.
No, but seriously, wave after wave of men.
In the future, there's an owl problem.
Sorry, but like, his name's Huge Ass.
Not so do listen to our podcasts.
I'm sorry. Blue whales on the moon.
We carry a harpoon.
God damn, I hate that we said that.
And take my podcast.
Breathe.
I almost fainted.
Brought to you by an evil wizard.
Yeah. Voldemort at his finest.
It's either that or one of several slightly offensive accents for this episode.
Yeah.
Can we spoil Game of Thrones?
No,
we really can't.
Welcome everybody to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, a Futurama podcast that kids just love. I'm joined here by Phil,
I have a feeling this episode is deeply offensive.
by James,
Kip has piss bones.
by Josh.
Who needs a belief system when you have money?
And Sean.
Tuvin throat singing seemed incredibly hard to do. Guys, we are here for season 3, episode 10, Where the Buggalo Roam. Which is what?
Where the Buffalo Roam.
Which is?
It's Home on the Range.
There
where the
we
deer
go.
and the antelope play.
Yes, that's
It's a Western phrase. Yeah.
Phrase. The Old West, the American West.
The Old West.
The Western Hemisphere. The best hemisphere.
From a time long forgotten, the best time.
The frontier times.
Yeah.
Which is highly romanticized in American culture.
yes.
Just a wee bit.
I feel disease-ridden is one term that comes to mind.
The Oregon Trail.
Yeah, the Oregon Trail. We still get Westerns now. They're not as popular as they used to be.
No,
but there's still like good ones too. Quite often, I mean, three tend to use.
That's the one that comes to my head straight
we
away.
do
Yeah,
get,
it's a
like-
great movie.
We get good westerns. They're more like a realistic look at it. We don't get that John Wayne Americana look at it, where everything's like everyone's just like white and Native Americans are evil.
Director for this episode is Pat Shinagawa. She was at one point a director for King of the Hill and Angry Beavers. Childhood favourite of mine.
Yep.
King of the Hill.
Yeah.
No, oh God. I hate King of the Hill so much.
Have we discussed this before?
We have.
We don't get it.
I've
at all.
expressed my hatred for it.
It's awful, but before school, Foxtel when I was a kid, I was like Fox 8. Before school,
Cable service provider for international listeners.
actually satellite. Every day, King of the Hill would be on, and nothing else is on. I'm just like, all right, I'll watch King of the Hill.
Captive audience.
In that case, I would just not watch.
No, you just
read a book or something.
One
I don't know.
quote
Go play
from-
outside, James.
One quote from it that I still do, though. It's just like, God damn it, Bobby. It's the only thing that I like
God
from
damn!
it.
Oh, I'm not going to try. And she is back from nothing. This is her debut.
Okay, sure.
So welcome, Pat, to the fold.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, writer J. Stewart Burns back from The Cryonic Woman.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where I look at it. Yeah.
I kind of like that episode,
Just
but I'm
Stereotypes.
Yeah.
Just lazy stereotypes. That's what that tells me about the writing.
That guy's going to come back on Reddit and be like, everything in this episode is good. Shut up.
Oh, I meant if we could bring him out onto Reddit, that would be great.
Draw him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw him out.
Find him.
We'll go on a Reddit cattle drive to draw
A rough and tumble cattle drive.
Mr. Burns, he did a recently animated short called Best Fiends, which is like an app, apparently. And I was trying to look at it. It's about these creatures that are on a planet and then a meteor hits the planet and these worms become angry and start attacking. It's like Angry Birds, I think, but with
Angry
worms.
Worms?
Like the story, Angry Worms. But it has a lot of old voice actors from Futurama. So
You got them to do a crappy mobile game?
Yeah. the shorts that are associated with it.
okay.
With that pitch, sign me up.
Yeah. Maurice LaMarche, Billy West, David Herman, but also Mark Hamill. But Mark Hamill's in everything, so...
Yeah.
But he's always good in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Air date,
Anyway.
March 3rd, 2002, introducing Singing Wind.
Yeah.
It's the name of the bug.
Yeah, the native.
The native
native
Martian.
Native Martian.
Native
Betsy,
Martian.
I guess, is introduced as well.
Yes. Not the introduction of the Buggalo, though, because they first showed up on the moon. The series has landed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Are they native to the moon or are they native to Mars?
Well, yeah.
I feel like they migrated to the moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd probably
I'm gonna
be
go with
brought to
Yes.
the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe found them at a completely different planet altogether.
Yeah.
And they're just like, these things are tasty. Let's farm them.
Well, yeah, then
And they also look a lot like cows.
Yeah.
Unless they painted them or something. I don't know.
And it's like a giant ladybug.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a ladybug with Frisian markings.
Yeah.
And great meat, apparently.
Yeah.
and wonderful for canoes and everything.
So
Yeah.
did Zoidberg kill that Buggalo personally, or did he just find the shell?
I like
I
to
think
that
they've
he
already
did.
he fashioned his own robot.
Yeah, I like
maybe.
that he did. He's so very, very creative in this episode that I wouldn't be surprised if he killed one, ate it, free meal, and then made a boat.
Yeah, free meal.
Free
I'm
meal.
gonna go with free meal, yeah.
I'm just going to lean on this table now just because of dramatic.
Yeah, we have a
purposes.
table now, by the way,
Yeah,
everyone.
nice.
We have
That's
a,
nice.
a table, so hopefully that's not picking up. Phil with the plot?
We open on Mars, the mightiest of planets, where the crew have come to the Wong Ranch. You've come to the Wong place, as it says on the door, for the Mars Day barbecue. Kif is going to meet Amy's parents for the first time as well, but he's concerned he's not manly enough. During a sandstorm that interrupts the barbecue, all the Buggalo have been rustled. Oh, no! And the Wongs are going to be ruined. So in order to show how manly he is, Kif determines he's going to go on a cattle drive to get the Buggalo back. Amy's kidnapped on this mission, although the Buggalo are returned, and it turns out the native Martians have kidnapped Amy. So the most decorated lawman in the galaxy is brought on to handle negotiations.
In the whole universe.
The whole universe. And that, of course, is, oh, no, please, God, no. Zach Brannigan, who fudges the negotiations. But it all turns out all right thanks to a giant diamond anyway.
All right, I'm going to answer this first. What do we think, Sean? I'm not a fan.
As I said in my intro, I just feel this episode makes me queasy in the second half. It just feels like a really poor representation of Native Americans.
I think
I'm not even that close to the issue.
I think the first half is quite queasy as well. Like, it's just like an all-round quiz fest of just like,
Yeah.
why is this an episode? It's a great idea that wasn't delivered in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, the tiger parents are also a lazy stereotype
Yeah.
as well, the Wongs.
You know, it's kind of worrisome when the writers at the end of watching this episode say, what was our message?
Yeah.
What were we trying to say?
Because I was watching it and I'm like, you can kind of feel like they tried to bring up that like what the diamond was worth, and then like that kind of thing, like, oh, we'll take your planet, and I thought they're trying to say something.
Yeah.
But like-
There's something about native title, right? And stealing land off the natives, but it's
Yeah.
not very well handled at all.
It doesn't really come up as prominently as it probably should, because I think it would make the episode stronger message-wise, but it's the idea of masculinity and what is considered masculine.
That stuff I quite like.
Yeah,
actually.
me too, because
yeah.
it's basically saying Kif doesn't have to be masculine to be a hero, and what is masculine, and how do you define masculinity?
And the things that he's worried about are the things that Amy really likes about him. So when they're lying on the mountainside, he says, "Oh, I'm going to keep all my feelings inside," and she says, "You still have them, right?"
Yeah.
and
Like,
that's
oh, yes.
what. Oh yes, now I save them to write in my diary. Yeah, the things that are about him that are sensitive and soft, like literally his whole body, are the things that Amy really likes about him. And he's worried about being masculine, but he doesn't need to be because Amy really likes him for who he is. And it's the hyper masculine characters in this who get the short end of the stick, comedy-wise.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones who's like Amy's kind of slept with on one night stands. She's kind of had that. It's like this is the first kind of real relationship.
Amy in a relationship is the best Amy. I
yeah,
love like you
But
have
that is the one thing about this episode that I think is genuinely good. I like the relationship between the two of them, and I wanted more of that. Like as you were saying, like that more manly. As Phil was saying, sorry, that more manly like sort of adventure and like finding out what it is. But then it's like, can't we just have like Amy and Kif for the entire episode, just like going across Mars?
if you have
Can I just be like, just literally? Sorry.
I'm never going to get to make a point.
Just literally, they should have just taken City Slickers with Billy Crystal, and made it Amy and Kif.
Yes.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Have them do a cattle run.
And just keep all the Zoidberg stuff too.
if you have okay, good.
I was just waiting to get interrupted.
The bus interrupted you, or whatever that large.
It's funny, I make that joke and now I can't remember what my point was going to
no.
be. So
I'm so
I was
sorry.
going to say, if you have Amy when she's having a go at Leela, she's the most detestable character on the show.
Yes.
But if you have her with a Kif-centric episode, she's the most relatable, lovely woman.
She's also really lovely when she dates Fry as well. She's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Just her in a relationship, she's so giving, but she has autonomy, and she's not just a passive character.
She becomes twice the character that she is when she's with someone, as opposed to just becoming the other half of a person.
Yeah, and she's not
As
just
opposed to
slipping
becoming-
over.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
never slips over when she's in a Kif episode.
Because Kif is the clumsy one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you saying about like the writers getting to the end of it and being like, what was our message? This episode has a really bad message right at the end. And it's like, just with the chief, and I'm not going to do the voice because I'm going to offend somebody, but it just goes like, oh, we'll buy a new planet and say it's traditional. And you know what? No one's going to argue with us because we got money. No one's going to argue with us. It's like, okay, is there no belief system? There's nothing mean. It's like,
he even says, we'll just call it sacred.
yeah, exactly. We'll treat it like it's sacred. No one will question it.
It's really cynical. Yeah. It's really horrible, actually. Yeah.
What did you think about the Slurm joke? The thing is, I like it because they could have easily just gone, we'll just make the spin on the joke that it's a Slurm can and then they're native Martians. But then it's like, it's not about that. It's just him going, Cynthia used to drink Slurm.
Yeah,
It's the specific image of the
American
tear.
crying, yeah.
The
Yes.
Native American shedding a single tear. I can't remember what it's from.
It's
I'm
from
sure
it's
Elizabeth will tell us.
I think it's an ad campaign I looked this up and I didn't write it down, but yeah, it's a campaign that came about.
They
Look,
do it in
I'm
the
just gonna
Simpsons.
do
The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Simpsons, where they basically leave the town because the town's a garbage dump.
It's from the 70s and 80s. Come at me if I'm wrong. I probably am.
Please. So we have a fan who goes on Twitter and tells us all the references we missed. So
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. I'm sure you'll tell us specifically what that's from.
Yeah.
But my point is that because it's parodying like a specific cultural moment, it really works.
Yes.
Yeah. And the delivery is great. as
Yeah.
well.
And it's with the Simpsons thing as well. They use that joke quite well as well because it's like the can gets thrown out and the Native American, is crying, and then the other guy comes up to him and says, "Whatever you do, don't turn around."
Do yourself a favor.
And he turns around and you hear, "No!" I told you, don't turn around.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
When do you reckon Leo and Inez forgot that they were the ones that introduced Amy to Kif on the Titanic?
Oh my God, you're right. The ones.
Oh, are they? Okay.
They introduced Amy to Kif. They said, we
my
found him.
God.
He's a captain.
Oh my God, that's true. And then they've never met him. Plot hole! Wow, I had not. Thank you, Sean. I had not picked that up. That's crazy. That's
They
a
specifically see them kiss and pick him up.
Wow,
And
that
they,
is a gigantic plot hole.
There was another plot hole in there. I was trying to remember because I was watching it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. There was like, but that one I didn't even realize.
That's a huge.
That's
it's all right, the writers
significant.
didn't realize it either.
That's crazy huge.
This just adds to my theme that season 3, when it misses the mark quite hard.
Yeah, there are a few episodes you just go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
But often in these episodes we feel missed. There are like these really lovely redeeming things in them.
Yes.
Zoidberg.
Often those redeeming thing is Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
I don't like the Wongs at all. I don't like
I mean, you're not
them.
meant to,
Yeah,
but you don't
no.
like them as a
Yeah,
concept,
like,
right?
Even as like a oh, you're not meant to like these guys. Like, yeah, congratulations, you made me not like someone, and I'd like them even less now. But then Zoidberg comes along, and I'm like, this is amazing. It's like it's actually great to see Zoidberg being part of the family.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, and I think it's like he's because finally Zoidberg, since being told by who was it, Leela, he realizes that he's poor.
Yeah.
And when he should be rich. So I think he's doing everything he can to insert himself into it. He knows what he's doing.
He gets so far though. I know. Like no one stopped him straight away. It was like it took a long time to beat him unconscious.
And then throw his ass out.
So what has he done? He's rode their Buggalo.
The first thing he does is like put on one of their robes and fill a bath full of Dom Perignon.
Only halfway though. Need more.
He broke
He's
the TV.
broke their TV.
Yes.
Possibly killed a buggalo.
Yeah, possibly.
And used it in front of them.
he did 3 other things when he was.
He wears like a little league
buggy-
baseball outfit.
He scratches up the couch.
Draws a moustache on
Price
Priceless,
Penny.
right?
And not bad for a city slicker, right? And my personal favorite, and I think it's one of the best jokes in the episode, is he fertilized the caviar. And then Mr. Wong stops chewing, takes another chew, stops, chews again.
There's
It's
a
like,
nice timing in that.
They
joke.
very rarely do the awkward humor, do they? Like the kind of the long shots of just a reaction. It felt very Family Guy-esque, but in a good way, like really leaning on the awkward stopping. things are happening.
Moment.
The moments, which was also
They do it occasionally. I feel like it's the same.
Occasionally, not
it's
very
a similar
often.
thing to like the Farnsworth. The look back.
So it's
at
really
Fry.
effective when they do it.
Yeah. On the flip side of Zoidberg, Fry has some god-awful jokes in this episode.
Where?
And they keep using it. And it's just like, I didn't find it funny the first
I kind of
time.
I giggled at the first one.
Yeah.
And then it was
You
done.
know those-
I was done.
I realize that a lot of the jokes in Futurama that we usually find don't hit are the ones that they do as a rule of three. It's like, we didn't like it the first time, we're not going to like it the next two times.
There's also one, and it's like half a second where it's like, the great stone face of Mars, and Fry goes, and then it's like, okay, that's
What
like
was that line there for?
Yeah, it's like
Billy West probably improvised that.
yeah, probably. They just
Like Bender isn't fantastic in this episode. I
like his "Damn you, old man!"
and oh, Chief, you've made me the happiest girl in
That's
the
the
world.
only bit I kind of really like.
For me, it's not just that line; it's his like. When he looks at it and realizes like how he reacts when he realizes it's a gigantic diamond, he's just he sort of panics and gets so excited. He's like, "Come up with a plan! Come up with a plan!"
I do love that first joke, which is where Farnsworth is. Oh, this sounds like this mission is going to be very dangerous.
Someone
Fry,
will surely
Leela,
die.
Bender, go with him. And the first time I was like, oh crap.
they go,
Does it again, and you can see Bender catches it a second before he's like, fuck, damn you, old man.
That is a really good joke in this episode as well.
I think Farnsworth just really likes losing crew members.
I think he needs to, because if they get too much tenure, they might ask for raises and more
that's true.
money.
Yeah,
If he gets more crew, he just pays them that initial salary.
Did Hermes only have one line in this episode?
everything branding everything that's not ours.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That
Please
was
don't
good.
do that.
And this sounds like a job for Kip Kroger.
Okay.
That just goes back to eating. Although I would have loved to see Hermes go on that. There's a question I have as well, because there is one parallel universe at this point, which is the Western universe. Has that episode happened yet in terms of the lore? They go to like the edge of the universe.
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, because slight future spoilers, but I would love to see this episode in the alternative universe where it's the cowboy universe. Because what kind of cattle drive would they go on?
They have mentioned alternate universe. We're not in an alternate universe where you're getting younger.
But we do have one parallel universe, because remember there was Universal Studios and Parallel Universal Studios.
And it's like, whoa,
Right next to it.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the cigarette mascots?
I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
Joe Camel.
And
Joe Camel
and RJ.
So RJ, you kind of like, they're doing a bit of a cigarette mascot thing, and like he's like kneeling down with a campfire smoking, and then they really throw it at the wall when Joe Camel walks in.
Yeah.
You're like, it's sort of like a nod before, like a really heavy nod, and then it's like.
Well,
okay,
yep.
now here we go. What does he say? I'm just my pool game at the jazz.
Sorry, my pool game, my pool
game.
Why am I having a seizure?
Just try again.
Is it like the kids love him?
Yeah, my pool game ran long at the jazz club. Kids love him.
Yeah.
Which the censors almost cut.
Yeah.
Because they're saying,
yeah.
are they saying that kids should smoke, like smoking?
I think what they're actually saying is that cigarette mascots are aimed at children,
Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah. But they were just there. Like even like RJ's opening line, it's just like, okay, this is clear. Like he's just like, welcome back to the country. It's where the real flavor is. It's like, why are you here?
It almost
Because it's the Western masculinity trope.
And it was almost going to be, you could see it was going to be a storyline that was maybe going to be, pulling Amy's affections away to another person. They didn't go there, which was nice.
But it also serves to make Kif feel inadequate.
Yes.
It's partly like, and he tries to smoke, and then it sets up the peace pipe thing as well, which is not that important really, but it sets up that Kif can't smoke without coughing or barfing. So that's kind of the reason it's there.
It would have been interesting to see if they would have gone further with those two characters, because they had an initial abandoned plotline of Kif would get addicted to smoking after just those two times.
Okay.
And that'd be like a running thing. So by the time he gets to the peace pipe, he's like really addicted to it.
Can I also say as well, like, is there some culture, like in Martian culture, the peace pipe is so that we bring peace. But is smacking someone on the back when they're smoking a peace pipe declaration of war as well? Because like that's the reason why Kif coughs.
Yeah, they give him a good old slap. It's not really his fault. He's doing fine, right?
No. What about if the roles were reversed? What if Kif had have slapped the Martian chief on the back?
I think that would have been highly
So
disrespectful.
do I.
That would be better. Why didn't they do
Double
that?
standards.
Yeah. I mean, like that's different. It's like they're playing on their rules.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to say as well. Zap Brannigan is great in this episode.
Zap Brannigan.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It holds my favorite joke, which is what you mentioned earlier, which is this time we get most decorated lawman in the whole universe. You mean? Oh no, please. I beg you, over the love, cut. I am the man with no name. Zap Brannigan. I've only just realized that Zap Brannigan's default stance is the fists on his hips.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I've only just realized that that's always how he stands. I tried to imagine Zap with his arms down, and I can't picture it.
It doesn't work.
He's a hero.
He's even at the beginning, like he's giving advice to Kif. He's golden. I don't remember the lines, but he's gold in that bit as well.
Yeah. The way to a girl's heart is through her
yes.
parents. You sleep with them, and you're in. That's like the best anti-motivational like thing to tell someone ever.
The first facepalm I've seen from James in about a week or so. It was great.
It's the worst advice.
I do like the,
I tried it.
I do like it never works. I do like the introductory shot for the Nimbus as well. It's really pleasant.
Super zoom
into the tiny window on the bridge. It's
Such
just
an
really
excessive ship.
Nice. Yeah, it really is.
Which is
How
great.
many crew members are on that thing?
Probably and everyone's either quit or has been fired, like suicided into the enemy. There are little bits to this episode. I just wish they didn't take it in like a deeply offensive direction.
Yeah.
Is that like the face, like the entranceway? That's a reference to the face that we saw at my face.
Yep. It's on Mars.
When did we find out about that face? Or when did people think they saw that? Because it's not a face, it's a rock.
Yeah,
It's sort of an 80s or 70s.
I was going to say 80s thing, yeah.
It's just a coincidental rock formation.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens.
Well, there's been photos since then where it's like, it's just a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the shadows.
That's
like,
a rock.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing as well. Mars isn't actually red; it's brown. It's because the dust in the atmosphere makes it look red from like telescopic.
You've
sight.
shattered my illusion. Thank you.
It's not. It's not the red planet.
But it's still the mightiest of planets.
It's
isn't
still
it?
the mightiest planet.
Okay, good.
The mightiest of brown planets.
Yeah. When Mars comes up, I just like to remind people we've got a couple of robots rolling around on there.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
We've also got the wreckage of a third one. They didn't
Beagle.
convert, was it miles to kilometers? So instead of it like entering the atmosphere and slowly descending, it just collided with the side of the planet. Also, the robot sings itself "Happy Birthday" on every year on the like.
That's so sad. Because I do that too.
I do that too. Oh, God, Sean.
There's another joke. Speaking of incredibly sad things, this episode dedicates some time to some jokes that just really don't land. Like the DJ at the Mars Day barbecue.
Mixmaster Festus? What the hell was
And
that
it's like,
there for?
what is it, something corn?
Vanilla corn.
Vanilla corn. And it's like, this is like 45 seconds of the episode we could have given to anything else. And
And there's weird jokes in there, like Bender stacking shots, but actually he's stacking bottles.
Yeah.
There's
What's Pepto-Bismol? What's Pepto-Bismol?
It's for reflux. It's for indigestion.
So probably not great to chuck on your meat.
Well, the idea is like you're countering the indigestion while eating vast
So
amounts of meat.
You don't have to take it after. You just
Eat it with
American-
All right. I like
American
the joke.
barbecues versus Australian barbecues are a very different sort of fare. You will get acid reflux in an American barbecue.
Martian
for
barbecue.
sure.
Martian barbecue.
Well, they're Earthlings on Mars. So is it?
Eating bugs.
No. Amy was born on Mars.
Born on Mars.
Yeah.
Because they.
There's a joke about Fry says, "Oh, I have feelers and legs and things," and then how about some salad? You go, oh, disgusting!
You know, a lot of this feels like it was written very just poorly. Like it's like the jokes didn't have a lot of redrafting. Just whatever the first jokes that came to mind were kind of just thrown in. Like the where joke, it feels lazy. Like they're just lazy jokes that don't.
The mountain's
Don't
really
have the
big.
wit.
He can't see it because he's stupid.
Yeah.
It's not that smart, is it?
Or
Like,
the-
it's the best hemisphere, the Western hemisphere, which is, it's cute, but at the same time, it's like...
if they did something better with the fact that it's like, hey, people who colonized America suck. If they did like a message of that, then the line at the beginning of the Western Hemisphere, the best hemisphere, would be kind of funnier at the end.
Yeah, they subvert our kind of Westocentric kind of viewpoint, or just make it like a rawhide cowboy episode where it's all on the trail.
Or
like,
Blazing
that would be
Saddles.
really cool.
If you really hammer into that Western idea, you can really hammer into the masculinity idea, which is a much stronger message to focus on.
And those are the ideas in the episode we really like, is the Kif dealing with his who he is and coming to terms with who he is and writing in his diary and being wonderful. That stuff would have been really highlighted on the Frontier style plot, not a kidnap rustling Native Americans plot.
Yeah.
Also, does the statue at Mars University was it like
a person?
Yeah. Because it just turns to bones. And I'm like, oh, good. We're going to see Mars University. That's kind of nice continuity. We still see that. And then I'm like, okay, I guess it's not a real statue. It's someone just... I was like, what?
They just put someone in wax.
Yeah. I was thinking, it's like, this is like another 15 seconds that we could have cut and given to something else instead.
Out of all the jokes, they picked that one. So that one's good.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see the ones that got cut.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's just a lot of whiffing in this episode, and a few kind of quite a lot of awkward silence from us while watching, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably could have been like not Mars Day. Just have Kif go to meet the parents and do some kind of Western adventure there, because
and address the fact that they've already met on the Titanic,
and now they don't like. Now they don't like him.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like you introduced me. We don't like him now.
I mean, he's like, he didn't realize he's not a captain.
Yeah. Or, as soon as Brannigan comes in, it just undercuts him straight away. Then they try to set him up with Brannigan.
And then they have to go on a Cutter Russell together, but Brannigan sucks.
Yeah.
Being a cowboy,
He sucks at being a cowboy, like hard.
He gets dust in his mouth and he hates it. And,
but because you have the whole crew there and they're just so underused.
Yeah.
Fry's just terrible. Bender gets some kind of good stuff, but like two things. Leela... The only thing I remember Leela doing is she squints when the dust goes in her eye.
And then the eye drops.
Yeah.
That is
not
it.
a great
Does
joke
Leela do
either.
anything else?
Leela doesn't do just anything.
She's also got another terrible line in it as well, where it's like she stands up for the native Martians, like, well, that's good, and then it's like, it's funny, and it's like, yeah, of course it's funny, but you don't have to laugh. It's like, okay, then I guess.
Yeah, that kind of undercuts her own point, doesn't it?
Hermes has more to do than Leela does.
Yeah.
Bender has a great.
But that's okay. Leela doesn't have to be in every.
No,
she's one of the main characters.
She goes on the adventure.
Yeah.
Or she is volunteered. She doesn't want to.
Yeah.
But they just do what the professor says. Yeah. Like, I guess he's their boss.
There's another line for Bender that makes like a third one that's a good one, where it's like they're telling the ghost stories, and it's like, oh, scary if you're laser printer. And then after that, and Fry's telling the story, and Bender's like, Bender gets bored and kills Fry with an axe. Sorry, continue. I was like, okay, that's kind of nice. Just Bender's impatience comes out, and then he's like super cute sort of moment where Bender just sort of gets very quiet and sits down. I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, but then there's like in the actual the wagon, like the hover wagon, and
the
I was
banjo.
like, I mean, I guess as like an image, it's kind of
I
nice,
like it because I like that we're adding more ties into Bendo's love of folk singing and folk music, and that
was
kind
be a
of
magnet joke there, but
Yeah.
no, he just wants to play the banjo.
And
Or
the fact
the
that-
banjo might be magnetic.
and
Yeah,
that
maybe.
Bender and Fry bond over their even if it's inadvertent, this love of Bonanza. The TV show, because that's what the theme was to.
Bonanza.
And of course, Fry would have watched that back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like,
If they had like the campfire scene, it's like you see them all there, and then you see like Fry and Bender like by the fire, and Fry's telling Bender what Bonanza is, and Bender's like intently listening. It's like, what is this thing? That'd be
this
interesting.
heroic documentary, this amazing, tell me more.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Banjos were a big thing back then.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of foreshadowing for the episode.
Maybe
I
they
think it's
outlawed it.
I think it's the next episode as well, because Bender's got another banjo coming up.
Yes, he does.
And it's one of the bits I really like.
We're kind of really scrounging for
Yeah.
good things to talk about. There's a bit of there's a joke with Farnsworth about I'm feeling some mental anguish.
Oh, that was
I
nice.
know I'm friends of every judge on the planet.
Yeah.
No,
I'm okay.
It's funny as well, because before we watched this, I was like, oh, cool, these episodes. So like, Sean, I remember liking these episodes. Like, Sean's like, have you watched them recently? I was like, no, but they'll be fine, right?
Because it's funny, because the week before we recorded for Amazon Women in the Mood, at the very end of the episode, the three of us are like, yay, Snoo, awesome. We watched it.
Problematic.
Well then.
Snoo, not so funny. I think we should head on to a voice. I think we should all have a crack at throat singing.
Okay. Sure.
I'll get the tuning whistle.
Because for those that don't know what throat singing is, it's basically using... You make a tone with your throat, but then you also overlay another tone over the top of it.
I'm not going to do this.
Oh no, sandstorm!
I think we cheated. Like, all of us did a tone, so that's technically... It's group throat singing.
Yeah.
I think altogether we made the time.
I was really hoping that you would say...
Wait. Are they magic? How does that make sandstorms?
Do we want to really dissect this? Let's do it.
Really? I just realised
That's an entire...
it's not explained at all.
Yeah, nothing is explained in this episode except for the bead, and that's it. But then why would the Wongs give... Actually, no, maybe the original Wongs were really nice and gave a lot of money to the people because they're like, maybe they were genuinely good people. Reginald Wong. Maybe it's like a Scooby-Doo thing. Like you think it's magic, but there's really just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and then somehow...
Because they did have spaceships.
Yes.
And laser arrows.
Yeah.
And access to Slurm.
They're actually quite...
Yeah.
And addiction to Slurm.
Yeah. It's highly addictive.
It's so strange.
I was really hoping you would say we'd have to do like the Buggalo voice. Like it's like that for the quote.
Would you eat a buggalo?
Buggalo?
Oh, I'd probably eat
Would I eat a buggalo?
Yeah. I don't know, because like...
Depends how it tastes.
They says it tastes really good, but then like all the barbecue stuff looks like the legs. No one's cooking the meat.
I mean, there was a thorax in there.
Did it have to be by itself, or can I slather it with Pepto-Bismol?
You can have it however you like.
Very good.
Yeah.
Raw.
Raw.
Zoidberg has it, just raw.
You have to make a pyramid of Jack Daniels bottles afterwards, though.
I'm fine with that.
I think some people say that insect farming's the way of the future because it's a lot less environmentally impactful.
Yeah.
And maybe in like 20, 50 years we'll all be eating insects anyway.
It's going to be like Snowpiercer, just ground it up into a nice little rectangle.
Like a protein square.
Protein square. If you don't know where it's coming from, what's the problem?
What happens if the train stops? We all freeze and die.
So there's like many cultures eat insects. Like in this country, mealworms and witchetty grubs. Are a big part of.
They're apparently very like
native diet.
Peanut butter and chicken. It's like sounds delicious.
It would take a long time for Western culture to.
Yeah, it's just it's a cultural thing. It's like people don't eat offal anymore, but they used to be.
Eat what?
Offal.
Offal.
It used to be really common to eat offal, liver, steak, and kidney pie. And
What is offal? Because that feels like my word of the week.
Offal, it's innards, guts, liver, kidneys, all that stuff. The stuff that predators eat. The stuff that predators eat first because it's most nutritious. But we've all decided as a Western culture, that's gross. I don't eat that.
So we just want.
All right, let's quick fire this.
Anyway, sorry.
Friarish or Buggalo? Quick fire.
Friarish.
Friarish. All right.
Friarish.
Meeting adjourned.
Supreme. Meeting adjourned.
Guys, if you would come visit us next week, we will be presenting to you Insane in the Mainframe.
Insane in the mainframe.
You had a hard time saying that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was going to say membrane.
It's a good song.
Until that time, if you would like to get in contact with us, chuck us an email at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
Or visit us on any of the social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. We're on all of them.
And YouTube, whether you have regular YouTube or YouTube Red. You premium bastards.
And if you liked it, let someone know. Send it along. Give us a little bit of a 5-star review. That's always lovely to know. And
or 1 star.
Be honest. 5 stars. 5 stars.
In whatever you do, just be passionate.
Yeah, exactly.
Passionate
Passionately
fan.
4 stars. Passionately 3 stars. Passionately 5 stars. If you write passionately as a comment and send it along passionately, that's all we care about. I'm sorry if the P's are popping.
Oh, guys, if you just like to hang around for about a minute, you just get a bit of a cheeky ad from the guys at One Good Thing. Check them out. And until then, I have been Sean.
I've been Phil.
I've been James.
And I've been Josh. Bye.
Even like around the world in 80 days, I'm pretty sure it's like we need to go kill Indians. And I'm just like,
Which one, the remake or the original? Because the remake is worse.
The original.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, you're going around the world. Can you just quit the with racism and get back on your balloon? Okay.
I'll pop it on Instagram, but I got a picture of you, Phil, as you were watching the episode, because it just kind of summed up everything we thought about the episode. There was just this, it was that look. It was just constant look of, what?
What's the worst film you've ever seen? What films would you never even watch with someone else's eyes? Just torn from their face. Like a...
Well, we say there's good in every film. One Good Thing tries to find the one good thing in otherwise terrible movies, like...
moments of genuine malice in family comedies.
Paul McGann, at all times.
Channing Tatum and his malformed dog-like clones.
Being one of the robots that doesn't reduce an entire ethnic group to a crude stereotype.
Locking menstruating women in haunted Romanian basements.
No sexism.
Horrifying orphans at Christmas.
Giving it your all even though you're being bullied by a man in a tent.
A tolerable Adam Sandler performance that's not punch-drunk love. Which one is it?
Being a comedy genius, no matter what Roger Ebert thinks.
A soundtrack that hasn't realised that Chris Nolan left 2 films ago.
head explosions.
An uncontrollably large group of mums.
Not punching Kevin James.
Christopher Walken whispering menacingly at a cat.
Your food looking almost as good as the food from Jon Favreau's chef.
The film is actually quite good.
7 seconds of passable action on a horse made of fire.
One good thing, because no film is truly worthless, right?